Celtics Heat, unfortunately, really the thing most worth talking about from this is that Kristaps Porzingis gets injured. It's a non-contact injury. He comes up holding his leg. Now he's in a walking boot post-game. Sent out an optimistic tweet at the very least, but it doesn't look good overall. If they have to operate in a world without Kristaps Porzingis, Logan, how does that affect the outlook on this team?
I think it changes everything for the Boston Celtics. There were multiple plays in the first half, too, before he actually injured it and walked off the floor, too. There was a little thing where he rolled his ankle. He clearly was, was already not at 100%. And then I'm not 100% sure what happened. They kick it to him. It looks like he's about to explode with the ball and just can't. When he goes to plant, he just stops, has to give up the rock. And that's what I really didn't like is immediately there's a guy with a history of it. He has an injury history, so he knows. He's experienced with these things. Immediately stopped, started moving gingerly, put his hand up, needed the sub, grimaced. And when he left the court, I didn't like the fact that Kristaps was putting his head in his jersey, man. I didn't like the body language. I didn't like any of it. And so I hope that they're okay. And I'm not ready to make any big declarations about Boston in terms of if they get to the finals or not. I think this is still one of the most talented teams in all of basketball. And even without Kristaps Porzingis, I think they're better than last year because they got Drew Holiday. Like the defensive ceiling that this team can consistently reach, or not consistently, let me rephrase that. The defensive ceiling that hypothetically Boston can reach when they're engaged is very, very high. Consistently, they hold the Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier-less Miami Heat to 84 points and 88 points in back-to-back games. And I'm not going to come out here and give them a big cake and a bouquet of roses and for that, because that's what you should do. But that is what Boston is capable of because they have that kind of personnel. And so I think they're better than last year. With Holiday, with the level that Derek White's at, I think Jayson Tatum's better. I think Jaylen Brown is marginally better. I think Boston would still probably be my favorite to get out of the East without Kristaps Porzingis. But what I will say is it does two things. I don't think they're better than Denver. I would pick Denver right now with healthy Kristaps, so I would still take Denver without him because I do think Porzingis is the X factor for this team. How reliable he has been as a floor spacer, like he's 7'3", can just shoot over everybody. He's an elite post scorer, again, mismatch attacker, can just go get what he wants at will when he gets a smaller guy on him. And he's been a dominant rim protector for the Boston Celtics. You can't understate Kristaps' impact on the floor this season. But I will say all this is if Porzingis is out for an extended period of time, I think it opens the door up for the New York Knicks to potentially make a Eastern Conference Finals and Finals run. Well, no, they meet in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think it opens a door for the Sixers or the Knicks to make a Finals run. And that's why I think it's important that either team capitalizes on this opportunity if Kristaps is out. Like Philadelphia, your back is against the wall. You are down 3-1. It is time to find that grit, find that energy, find that heart, because you don't know when these things are going to open, man. And Boston is so talented that they're going to be right back here next year, man. It is going to be just as hard to get through the Eastern Conference next season. Boston's not going anywhere. So you got to strike while the iron's hot, man. If you're Philadelphia, if you are New York, the time is now, man. You got to make that push. I like the Knicks more. I like the way they've been playing more. I believe in their recipe more. So the Knicks are the team that I'm really looking at, man, if Kristaps is going to be out, that it's your time to strike, man. It opens the door for a Knicks Finals run. I was not anticipating this. And to be clear, I would still take the Celtics. I still think they're the most talented team out of the bunch. But it was just a window. Just a little crack in the window, man. We're about this big. Now we got a door. Now we got a door if you're the Knicks, man, if Kristaps is going to be out.
I have viewed the Celtics as unbeatable in the East. I just think the talent advantage is too significant. And as well as the Knicks are playing, and even though I think Julius Randle can be a negative, I also think he unlocks a ceiling having him as a legit second star shot maker and just the physicality and the size that New York probably needed to knock off Boston, because they would need both him and Brunson playing at this unreal level. And I just think Brunson carrying that load against the Boston team this good, that's overwhelming. But I do think that there is now a vulnerability with Boston that there just wasn't. Now, they are still 21-4 without KP on the floor. They're plus 12 points per 100 possessions without him on the floor. Like, this team is just so good that they're still going to be a damn good basketball team with the absence of any of their five key starters. Tatum obviously would be the most significant, but even then, like, you would have great point of attack defense, really good spot up shooting, one big physical wing shot maker in Jaylen, and you would have KP. Like, they'd still be a good team. They wouldn't be the favorite in the East in that situation, but they should be able to survive. They're so damn good. But KP has been insanely valuable. I think has been the second most valuable Celtic over the course of this season. Had some underwhelming moments in this playoff run, like game 2 against Miami was awful, but to have a guy who provides such distinct value as an elite pure rim protector, as an elite shooting big, as the most effective mismatch attacker, the most effective post scorer in the league this season, like, the guy's a unicorn, and he has been playing like a unicorn this year. And so when you lose that, you're losing a lot. And specifically, I just get worried about the big depth here because they need both him and Horford available. And so they can still get through the East without KP. And I would honestly still pick it, but then you get to Denver and you just have no chance. I just don't think you can physically match up whatsoever. And I don't even think KP is a good matchup for Jokic because of a few things. He's not a great pure post defender. He's a great rim protector, but Jokic can bully him physically. He's not a great rebounder. Jokic can kill him on the glass. That's not a very easy matchup for him to hunt mismatches. Like, there are various reasons I don't think KP is at his best there, but if you take him out, like Al Horford being your lone big, who I actually believe in, like, we better not see any Luke Cornett minutes, bro, against the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals. So that's what would suck if he's not available. Hope he is okay. Of course, I love the guy. I've had so much fun watching him this year. If he isn't, Boston is still so talented and this East is so flawed. They would still be the pick to get out, but there's a much more legitimate chance that they lose. And ultimately, I don't think that team can win the title without Kristaps Porzingis. And that is the concern with KP. It always has been availability. And of course, he missed a decent number of games throughout this year, but he was mostly healthy. And to see it pop up in a moment like this, it just really, really sucks because windows in the NBA don't last forever, man. You're the Milwaukee Bucks. You win in 2021. You think you're on top of the world. Chris Middleton gets hurt in 2022. Next thing you know, you're a first-round exit the subsequent 2 years. Boston is in a much better place because so many of their players are still at the peak of their powers and they have these guys under control through next year. Like, Boston should be every bit as good as they are next year. But to lose any opportunity due to injuries really, really would suck for them. The other thing to discuss from this game, Logan, is just the Derek White masterclass. I mean, some quick words on him getting 38 in this one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What a great Derek White game. On the series, dude, what a great series. 22, 3 and 4 and 55% from the field, 47% from deep, 72% true shooting. Derek White, too, a lot of these points were like Boston making a defensive play and then them just getting out in transition and White getting to the rim or hitting a transition three. Like, they dominated Miami. I know the final score doesn't make it look like they were killing them in the first half, and that's kind of when you could turn the game off and turn the lights out on Miami. Makes 8 of 15 threes. Like, Derek White is just, he's one of those perfect role players, man. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but like, the fact that you can put him alongside superstars and he's going to make winning plays, winning decisions, play his ass off defensively, knock down a high percentage of his threes. And he's versatile. You know, some of these guys can get pigeonholed into roles. Like, White can handle a little bit. He can play make. He can make good decisions. He can get to the hoop. Like, Derek White's awesome, man. Shout out the boy. Shout out a dominant game where he was just best player on the court. It's how you can survive a Tatum and JB game like this, man. The boy D. White. Great defensive effort, too, from everybody in this game in Boston, man. And Tatum said it. He had a quote, you know, everybody knows how talented we are. Can we be the tougher, harder playing team? That's what Boston's out here to prove. And they were tonight, man. I was impressed with White and the whole collective. But, yeah, man, I definitely wasn't expecting this from the bald wonder himself. That's all it took, man. You shaved the head, and then you're closing in on 40 points, dude. That's the key. I think you should maybe do it. I think we could see you like ascend,
No.
man. Your final Pokemon form.
No, I appreciate that, the kind words, but I already accidentally tried the buzz cut thing. Not really for me. And also, Logan, just frankly, we can't both have shaved heads. That's a really, really, really bad look. So I'm not going to do that one. But shout out to Derek White, dude. Buddy balled out. And that is what makes this Celtics team so dangerous. It's the fact that any of these guys, the numbers, well, any starter other than Tatum, who, like, you expect to play at that consistent, somewhat superstar level, like any other member of the starting five can play at an all-star level on any given night, and none of them are ever that far off from it. And Derek White stepped up in this one, like ridiculous spot up shooting, attacking in transition, consecutive cuts into dunks off of Drew Holiday post ups. Like, come on, dude, that's awesome. That's like some 4-5 action from your 1 and your 2. That fired me up. And he was running their offense down the stretch, which is just hilarious, but like he's a ridiculous weapon to have. And when neither Jaylen or Jayson play well and you go down KP, it's big to have that. This Heat team is so shorthanded. They're so lacking in talent compared not just to Boston, but like everybody. Like the fact that they got a game is both deserving of some props on their front and also like merits a good old fashioned reaming of the Boston Celtics, which we delivered after game 2. That was really bad. At least they haven't had another one of those. I still don't think they've played their best basketball in this series or really anything all that close to it, but we know what they're capable of with KP out there. And it looks like it's a calf strain for KP, which is not the end of the world. Like that should be multiple weeks depending on the grade, but like theoretically, if you get to the finals, you would think he'll probably be back from that. Woj said that it doesn't look like there's damage to the Achilles, which is of course the fear when you see a guy pull up like that. So hopefully he's right. And hopefully we can get Boston in the finals because whoever it is out of the West, I've presumed that it's going to be Denver. Minnesota's playing at an extremely high level. Like there's so many great teams out West, but Boston is still a level above everybody else out East when they're right. And I would like to see them in the finals. That would just be, to me, best for the basketball product.